Newsfeed now. Coronavirus facts, not fear, begins now.
Good morning and thanks for joining us on this special edition of Newsfeed Now. I am your host, Ashley King. The news continues to be flooded with COVID-19. Everyone in every community across our nation is focused on the coronavirus and where we as Americans go next. So our goal is to focus on facts. Let's start with the latest numbers from the CDC. There are more than 41,000 cases of COVID-19 reported in the United States right now. Some of the hardest hit states are New York, California, Florida, and Washington State. There have been at least 540 deaths reported so far. New York, the hardest hit state in the U.S., now has more than 21,000 coronavirus cases and 157 deaths. At least 2,200 are hospitalized and hundreds are in the intensive care unit. Dr. Deborah Birx said at a news conference yesterday with President Donald Trump that the greater New York City area has an attack rate close to 1 in 1,000, which is 5 times higher than what other areas are experiencing. And breaking this morning, the International Olympic Committee, President Thomas Bach has agreed, quote, 100% to a proposal of postponing the Tokyo Olympics for about 1 year until 2021 because of the coronavirus outbreak. The IOC has been facing mounting pressure to delay the games, which were originally scheduled to run from July 24th to August 9th. The Olympics has never been rescheduled in peacetime. In 1916, 1940, and 1944, the games were canceled because of world wars. And Americans have reacted to the coronavirus crisis by stocking up on toilet paper, bread, milk, and even guns. Anti-gun violence activists say this is not good news as gun advocates understand the uptick. Washington correspondent Kelly Meyer hears from both sides.
As coronavirus concerns grow, more and more people are heading to gun stores, some for the first time.
I'm very fearful about what I'm seeing.
Chris Brown, president of Brady, an organization that advocates for gun safety, says she's heard about the long lines and is worried about the uptick in ownership.
People are looking for things that make them feel safe. But the problem with a gun is it's a perception of safety that actually is bringing much heightened risk to the very family members that I think many people are trying to protect.
Exact numbers from the FBI's National Instant Criminal Background Check system won't be ready for at least another week, but there are potentially hundreds of thousands of new gun owners.
It's a time of uncertainty and people are realizing that they might need to feel safe.
Amy Hunter with the National Rifle Association says she understands the reason for the increase in gun sales and says the NRA is doing its part to make sure owners know how to use their firearms responsibly.
Look, no other organization in the world does more to promote gun safety than the National Rifle Association.
In New Jersey, the governor ordered firearm dealers to shut down during the coronavirus pandemic. Monday, the Second Amendment Foundation filed a federal lawsuit to block that order. Reporting in Washington, I'm Kelly Meyer.
Now, a key vote on the economic stimulus plan failed for the second time in the Senate on Monday afternoon. Senate Democrats lined up against the vote to defeat it again. Democrats say they are still concerned that Republicans are more focused on bailing out big businesses than helping individual workers. House Democrats are still working on their own version of this bill. So let's go ahead and bring in Jesse Turner now from Washington, D.C. And Jesse, we have this back and forth going. It's pretty much a stalemate between the parties. How do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, we really had an actual Senate debate happen on the floor yesterday. If people were tuning into C-SPAN, they actually got a pretty lively debate out of it. And it sounds like that those negotiations continued well into early this morning and continued this morning as well. And it seems like from talking to people at the Trump administration to people on the Hill that we could be hearing about a deal at any moment. One of the main sticking points has been this $500 billion billion for major corporations like airlines, like you were mentioning, Ashley, these big companies. And Democrats were concerned that moving forward there wasn't enough oversight. They were saying that essentially, it could go about 6 months without the government having to disclose exactly who they gave the money to and how much. And so it sounds like that there was some wiggle room on that, and that there will be more oversight now. So there is a little bit of push and shove going on. And it sounds like even Mnuchin, who's been spearheading everything, obviously, for the Trump administration, is pretty confident that they'll be able to say something here within a little bit. And then McConnell was saying that potentially, even by tonight, we could see some floor action again.
Okay. And so you mentioned possible more oversight. Do you have any other insight into what we could see in this deal that they may be coming to?
Yeah, so definitely I know one of the main things that people have been focusing on, since it impacts so many Americans across the country, are those individual checks. That was something that had kind of been thrown back and forth for a little bit. How much, how many months potentially. So that is definitely going to be in there. And they're just kind of ironing out those details of what that could look like, but it'll be based upon your tax return. And then some of the other kind of key things that they've been fighting for is dealing with healthcare workers. That's the main thing that Democrats have been wanting, to make sure that they're protected and they have the materials that they need, because we're even hearing now New York Governor Cuomo, he's saying again that there's just not enough ventilators, things of that nature. And so this would really help with that by pouring more and more money to make sure that hospitals have the money to pay for these supplies and to be able to get them.
All right. Thanks so much for giving us that insight. I'm sure you're going to have a busy day, Jesse.
All right. Thanks.
All right, CVS and Walgreens plan to hire thousands of workers. CVS is adding 50,000 full-time, part-time, and temporary workers. Walgreens is looking to hire nearly 10,000 new employees. Both companies are advertising benefits for workers. Those include childcare and bonuses for employees working during the pandemic. And Lowe's is stepping in to help hospitals across the country that are facing shortages of essential protective gear. The company is donating $10 million in products for medical professionals. It's part of a $25 million initiative to support its own workers, customers, and surrounding communities. Some of the money will also go to its employee relief fund. Two big names in the liquor industry are changing production to make hand sanitizer. Anheuser-Busch releasing images of the sanitizer in containers that normally hold its beer, like Michelob Ultra and Stella. Tito's Vodka also hopping on the hand sanitizer bandwagon. The company will turn its distillery into a facility to make 24 tons of sanitizer. One church in Louisiana believes the power of their faith will keep them healthy during this pandemic. They used 26 buses to pick up people from around the Baton Rouge area to take them to Sunday service. Now, the state was not under a shelter-in-place order on Sunday, but as Abby Rocha explains, more than 1,800 people went to church services, ignoring concerns for social distancing.
Pastor Tony Spell says the Life Tabernacle Church in Central believes in the healing hand of Jesus, even through an aggressive global pandemic.
That is our command. They shall lay hands on the sick and they shall recover.
Spell's Sunday morning service brought more than 1,000 people from the Baton Rouge area to his church property. Social distancing was not happening. Throughout the service, parishioners can be seen touching each other and closely gathering, very few wearing masks or gloves. Spell says if anyone in his congregation is infected with COVID-19, he will heal them through God.
I want to address that by laying hands on them and praying for them and believing God to heal their body.
Governor Edwards, when asked, once again addressed the controversial service with his same message from the beginning.
I would urge that faith leader and all others to heed this directive and not unnecessarily engage in mass gatherings where this coronavirus can spread.
Spell identifies himself as a first responder, saying his services will not be stopped even through the governor's order to shelter in place.
When the paramedics can't get there, when the law enforcement can't get there, the Holy Ghost can get there, and it'll make a difference in somebody's life.
All right, let's go ahead and bring in Abby now from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And Abby, I know there's a separation of church and power, but now that there is a shelter-in-place order, is there anything legally the state can really do to require, this church to stop having services?
I think that's what everyone is asking. And I feel like, this story is bringing a national conversation. At what point does it become a safety hazard? So we're looking into it now, and it's going to have to still the governor and local officials for answers. So we don't have to, but we are looking.
All right, we seem to be having some difficulties hearing Abby there. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next story now. There is one myth that has been brought to attention. Does heat kill the coronavirus? Colleen Peterson, a meteorologist in Alabama, went to talk with health experts to find out.
Spring has begun and our temperatures are on the rise. With the sun shining, there is one myth that has been brought to attention. Does heat kill the coronavirus? I spoke with Dr. Jane Orient to get the answers.
Heat kills any virus. It depends on how high a temperature, for how long, humidity conditions. So it does kill coronavirus, I'm sure, just like other viruses. So it will be killed by heat.
I then inquired, will locations located in warmer climates see lower numbers of the coronavirus?
Whether the temperature conditions have very much to do with it is not clear. Certainly people in warmer climates, like in Singapore, and Australia, are getting affected also.
All right, time now to bring in Colleen from Mobile, Alabama. And there are so many myths out there with this virus. Why do people keep associating heat with killing viruses?
Well, I think there's a lot of myths out there that heat does kill the coronavirus, or if it does. And I think that a common characteristic that's among viruses that heat does indeed kill viruses. So with the coronavirus, I think it does, but there are different parameters that go around the myth, such as how hot of a temperature, the duration, and this particular virus is still being studied, so it is made clear that it will not prevent the spread of the coronavirus.
Okay, well, whenever we say that heat can kill viruses, do you know how hot of a temperature? Like, does it have to be, above 90 or something like that? Do we know?
That's something that is still being studied by doctors, but I think that will be something that will come up like within a month from now. But it is still an ongoing study, but it is a common characteristic for viruses to be killed by heat. So if you look at the spread of viruses, places that have high humidity, such as Australia, are still seeing the effects of coronavirus.
Yeah.
So.
And then we add in, it's allergy season is coming up too, so
yes.
In certain parts, so I'm sure that's going to make things even more interesting as we move forward. All right, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
All right, so it's starting to seem like no business or industry is immune to the changing times as the world tries to flatten the curve and stop the spread of COVID-19. That includes the fitness industry. But one thing remains, though, through this time, getting your sweat on doesn't have to stop. Here's Emily Proud.
Yeah, really all across the world, gyms are having to pivot from their typical day-to-day operations of hosting open gym time or group fitness classes. But just because their doors are shut, it doesn't mean the exercise stops. From yoga to group fitness, studios are making their classes available online. I spoke with Nashville fitness owner and founder Ryan Freebing, and he said that's not all they offer.
Yeah, one thing that's great about Nashville is everyone still has to get their sweat on. So a lot of them have actually been renting out their equipment to their local members. So I was at a gym just the other day, and there was a line of about 40 cars deep with people that wanted to rent out equipment like rowers and skiers and dumbbells and barbells and things like that. So everyone is very adamant about still sweating and keeping it going. So gyms are renting out their equipment, or they're offering online live classes as well too. So a lot of Instagram and Facebook live events that are happening within the community, and then also offering workouts at home as well too. So they're posting home workouts, how they can get their sweat on with the equipment that they have available.
All right, let's go ahead and bring in Emily Proud now from Nashville. And Emily, I go to the gym faithfully, so I'm having withdrawals right now, not being able to work out. Have you found any unique ideas that, people are using or you're using yourself to stay active during this time?
Yeah, so I kind of said that at the end of the package as he was talking about all the fun, creative ways that you can still get in your workout at home. Something that I've actually done, and I'm going to plan on continue to do it, especially we have a lot of rain here in Nashville right now, so a good way to get moving and get your heart rate up is to climb your apartment steps. It's just like a stair stepper, you make it up to whatever floor you can get to, and it's a burn, I promise you. You will be feeling it the next day, but that's probably the most creative way that I've learned to keep moving when you can't go outside and go for a run like he suggested.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because I was trying to find, using canned goods and stuff like that to do curls with, because I don't have weights at home. So when these gyms are renting out some of their equipment, is that free or is it just for members only, or how is that working?
So it seems to be right now just members only, and it's a rental thing, so they will have to pay for it. But yeah, at this point, if you're not going into a gym, and like you said, not a lot of people have home gyms or dumbbells or weights or anything at home, so it makes it a lot easier. They can go and they drive up and they're able to actually rent these. I don't know exactly what the cost for it is, but it's a moving thing. They're continuing to try to find new ways to get people moving at home with these online workouts. But the next step for this is figuring out a way to put a paywall up. As we know, it's not always about a membership. Sometimes people pay by the class, and they're able to just kind of stream these Facebook Lives for free at this point. So they want to find ways to still continue, specifically with trainers is the biggest issue, is they're not getting paid doing their typical classes. So finding a way to put up a paywall for those non-members who are just coming in by the class.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know a lot of people are out of a job right now because the gyms are closed. All right, thanks so much for joining us this morning, Emily.
Thanks for having me.
All right, well, that's all the time we have right now. Thanks so much for joining us. We will see you right back here tomorrow at 10:30. Your next coronavirus update will come at 3 p.m. East Coast time. Have a good one.